there was a virtue signaling that made it seem as if ordinary folks, if they did not say things in exactly the right way or meet this litmus test, that they were being chastised, pushed away. And the truth is, most of us, all of us, are complicated, and we have blind spots, and sometimes we say dumb stuff.
So guess who's back lecturing the public, especially after the Epstein files drop, and the fact that they don't want to be in Congress, her or the one, her husband, Bill Clinton, didn't want to go and testify under oath. Remember that? So she's back lecturing people here at, of course, Munich, where every other Democrat is at, and she's talking about immigration, trying to lecture Americans about immigration. But one thing about her party is already being hijacked by super far leftists who think and don't believe in borders. Remember, Billie Eilish said, no one is illegal on stolen land.
No one is illegal on stolen land.
Alright, Billie Eilish, keep that same energy when I show up at your $14 million mansion and just decide to move in, because guess what? That's on stolen land, so not illegal.
So now that you guys know where the Democrats are standing, especially the super far left progressives, here's a big mistake that Hillary Clinton makes live on stage. You guys gotta hear this, because she's actually admitting that Trump is right, while also saying that, hey, immigration, well, watch this.
I think we need to call it for what it is. There is a legitimate reason to have a debate about things like migration. It went too far, it's been disruptive and destabilizing, and it needs to be fixed in a humane way with secure borders that don't torture and kill people.
Okay, so before we get into what she's saying about torturing or people being unalive, she's saying something that the left does not want to hear right now, especially from Hillary Clinton, who is now coming out of nowhere, by the way. Why is she in Munich? Why is she speaking on behalf of Democrats? Well, it doesn't even matter right now, but what matters is the fact that she and her party literally don't agree on this one particular issue. She is admitting that immigration has become a huge problem in the United States of America, with how many people were let in 2021. And over time, as a whole, immigration is a system that needs to be fixed. I think a lot of people know that, especially here in the United States. Immigrants know that. People who have been here generationally, black people, white people, everybody. So she is saying that she agrees, while also simultaneously saying, people, it can be done in a humane way. But her party doesn't even care if it's done in a humane way. That's why they have sanctuary cities. That's why this problem is far beyond her comprehension. She doesn't understand why her party literally lost the 2024 election. But here she is, yet again, ladies and gentlemen, yet again, here she is. Right? Because she is saying the same thing, but I saw this post and I thought it was very important. Hillary is leaving out a very important detail about it. 2 million with no protest. 5 million with no protest. Right? That's how many people were literally deported under her husband and under Obama. So now they're bragging to the left, to their own party, that, hey, Trump is right on this issue. We just don't like the way that he's doing it. But what she's forgetting to mention is the fact that Trump has taken out 600,000, the same numbers, probably less than both of them combined, and all you see is protests and riots. So what she doesn't understand, and again, ironically, she is admitting Trump is right on this issue. We do have a problem, but what she leaves out is that Trump is trying to solve the problem that they also solved before Biden came back into office. So isn't it crazy? This is all manufactured by Democrats to stop Trump. They are causing the violence.
Yep.
And it's kind of the same thing with the Epstein files.
Right? Everything kind of breaking down.
Because now the Epstein files is coming out. Right? Alex Jones may have been right about what they were doing with the babies and the flood. I mean, I don't want to get too deep into it. I don't want to get banned. But you know that this stuff is coming out. It's very disturbing. And yet, none of them are hitting the streets to protest. Beyonce, Jay-Z, right? Who else? Bono. A bunch of names just came out literally like a few hours ago. Pam Bondi has released even more songs. So now she is asked, right? Hillary Clinton's finally asked, because after trying to lecture and literally backfiring on her own party, yes, there's a huge disconnect between Democrats and far-left progressives. Hillary Clinton was finally asked about Jeffrey Epstein, except both of the reporters and Hillary didn't mention her husband one time. Reminder that Bill Clinton invited Epstein to the White House 17 times, flew on Epstein's plane at least said 27 times, and it's mentioned 1,100 times, almost 1,200 times. So here's why the media is one of your worst enemies. Right, moving along from immigration and what you're saying live on stage. Watch this.
We've been talking about Justin rallies throughout the conference, and that is very horrifies me to see what the Epstein files have brought up. And I wanted to ask you, what does it say about Western values when Western leaders have perpetuated and participated in these horrific abuses of minors and veterans?
Thank you very much. We have gone everywhere from News Talk to Epstein. The last question, it's horrifying, and we're hoping that, there will be continued release every day that passes. That doesn't mean, as our news commentators say every day in the United States, it's because someone's name is there, they committed a crime. But I think there's a lot of very troubling and really horrific information coming out today. It came out that Steve Bannon was trying to get Jeffrey Epstein to help him overthrow Pope Francis. I guess that was part of the civilizational.
They're talking about something. They're not talking about that.
Now, Sarah, it's not new that Clinton was on Epstein's jet, that he visited his home and was in Epstein's circle, but no doubt these new photos will raise new questions. There's a photo of Clinton, Michael Jackson, and Diana Ross, for example, in one image. There's another photo of Clinton in a pool of some kind, maybe even possibly a hot tub, with a person whose face has been redacted. So no reaction from the Clinton team, but many questions will be raised about some of the intimacy of these photos. Other photos included Ghislaine Maxwell, his co-conspirator, and several photos of what appear to be topless women whose faces have also been redacted.
She hosted these files. So why did the Democrats vote that it came out on their watch? They're trying to take all the credit because they wanted to make this about Trump. Just like they want to make immigration about Trump. Immigration, Epstein files, they both kind of play in the same field as to who exactly Democrats are trying themselves to overthrow, which was President Trump. But in my opinion, this is all backfire because she mentions one very important detail about the Epstein files, is that not everybody that was mentioned in the files did anything wrong. Well, too late for that because Trump's name, based on his calls, all these things that have come out about Trump have also come out about Bill Gates, your husband, pictures of your husband, literally everywhere. But yet, we don't talk about it. And what's crazy is, if we're going to say the sentence that just because your name is on there, and just because there were 911 calls with no proof or no credible sources, that we're going to say that those people aren't guilty, why doesn't the church? If we're going to play that game, if we're going to play that silly game that the Democrats have been trying to play, by making immigration about Trump, she herself debunked two of the less lies. What are they? Well, it's very simple when you really think about what the Democrats are trying to accomplish. It's never really about the Epstein victims, because if it was about the Epstein files, they'd be all over the streets today. In fact, I would join them. I would join them on a protest outside, protesting the babies, girls, people, held accountable. I myself have wishes that the people who did very bad things be investigated, find out what they actually did. But because this is all about get Trump, get Trump, get Trump, I hate Trump, it's all about politics, it's never going to be about the victims. Same thing with the Palestine stuff. What happened with Iran? We found out that Iran, right, the crazy government, the Ayatollah, ended up murdering a lot of his own people for protesting. But yet no one hit the streets to protest that. So, as a fellow person who used to be on the left on a lot of these issues, realize is that you guys are all fake and phony. There's a huge disconnect between your own party. There's a huge disconnect between somebody like Destiny or somebody like Hassan Piker. Destiny says Hassan Piker is only trying to use the Democrat Party to overthrow the Democrat Party. He doesn't really care. Doesn't really believe in borders. But yet Hillary Clinton comes out, she says she believes in borders. Obama has come out and said that he believes in borders. Yeah, he brags about deporting people, but that's what the people are mad about. They're saying F ICE because they don't think that that system should even exist. Where are the protests for those people? Where are the protests for Obama, who literally ran out of bombs in the Middle East, perpetrated so many things in the Middle East, also tried to like make countries in Africa accept the, the LGBTQ thing? Well, that's another conversation for another day. But you guys get the point. You get the point of how ironic all of this really is when it comes to Hillary Clinton, when it comes to immigration, and when it comes to the left. I'm not here saying that, oh my God, Trump was never friends with Epstein, but the stuff that has come out that you guys begged for, haven't seen you guys make a story about the police chief that said that Trump called to say that Ghislaine Maxwell was a really bad person? Where's that call? Where's that video? We're never going to see that video on their pages because that's not what they're going to make about it. I, for one, came on terrible. She even said that the Dow was up 50,000. So, I can say that I've lost followers because I said this whole Epstein debacle looks really bad under the Trump administration. But now, as days go by, when it comes to immigration and the Epstein files, I'm tying them both together and people are probably confused. Why is Lee doing that? Well, it's because Jay-Z's on the files. A whole bunch of people are on the files. He's watching. Nah, man, just because your name was mentioned doesn't mean that you yourself did anything wrong. Man, I wish they had that same energy all around, but they don't. When it comes to immigration, when it comes to people in the streets, realize that they're not protesting immigration, they're protesting Trump. And they're not protesting the fact that ICE exists, they're protesting the fact that the borders exist. That people are actually illegal. That's what they're protesting. So I think not only is people like Hillary Clinton out of touch with her own party, but her own party is going so far to the left. I think CNN even did a poll on this. So those are my thoughts on all of this, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you guys think. Ironically enough, they're bragging about deporting people, but they're doing it because, oh, we didn't kill nobody. But there's literally hidden cases during Obama's administration. So, yeah, I think a lot of people are like,